Brent, I've heard you talk about the depth issues, and not necessarily from the fact that maybe guys are getting tired, but is it, hey, if I don't have 3 guys who could take your job, that maybe
I think you'd be negligent and naive to believe that doesn't sometimes play a part in it. Keeping a guy desperate to know his job, do his job. I think the competition brings out the best in everybody, for sure. And when you don't have it to the level you want, I think it can work against you, certainly.
And if I just follow up with that, you talked about also maybe putting some guys trying to develop depth, so that makes you sort of forces you to put guys in positions where
I just look at I got guys that can play, and I'm sometimes afraid of my own shadow that way, and I need to let them go out and fail too. We go out, and that's going to help them. Not for the moment, it's a miserable moment for everybody when that happens, but that's all part of their growth and their maturation. So that needs to get better.
It was only last month where you guys helped Georgia Tech with its lowest rushing total. You shut out Miami. Does that show how fast attitude?
I'm not all the way on that other extreme where. And you may not be, but I'm going to take it that way. We don't stink either. We have some stinky plays, for sure, but I'm competitive too, and I want to make sure I show our guys the good plays they played in that game too. And I don't want to sugarcoat things, but I'm not ready to jump off the top of the stadium either. So, mad, yep. Embarrassed at times, yep. And but I still, without question, believe in our guys and believe in what we're doing as a staff.
I know you don't like comparing year to year, but just for frame of reference, this time of year, is it different when you're chasing a championship rather than last year where you're ranked but not in that playoff mix?
I don't think so. I pour everything I got, just as a leader and as a competitor, everything I got into every single game, every practice is a game. I don't relate to that. That does not resonate with me whatsoever. I don't get it. You only get so many opportunities, and I believe in the process. I believe in it with everything, every fiber in my body, and how you get there. So this next meeting, oh my God, if I don't get this right in this meeting, we're going to lose, and that's just my attitude. And I'm hopeful that our guys, latch on to that. And but I don't believe that. I don't think you can say we're focused, on what we can control. And that's where our focus is, and that's kind of what you preach as a program, and then all of a sudden say, well, this year's more important. I need a little bit more focus this year than we had last year because of what's at stake. Winning is at stake every day, and despite your record, I don't know. I like being in this position though. This beats the alternative for sure, but it doesn't change. All of a sudden, you got to come up with you change your schedule, you change the way you game plan, or you change the way you try to motivate. It all stays the same. It needs to be consistent.
The importance of every meeting, every practice, that kind of thing. As you were at Oklahoma and watched those teams playing for stakes, is this something that you kind of have to learn and grow in as a program along the way for these guys who haven't really had that yet?
I don't know. If we were terrible, maybe. We haven't been terrible. These guys have never been terrible. I think they're going for their record-breaking win or something this week or something, right? So they know how to win. Again, how you handle success, I think, is everything. Just as human beings, and what's the natural tendency? You're feeling good. You've been knocking everybody out. Everybody's telling you you're the champ, rubbing up on the shoulders. All you gotta do is you show up. You're gonna knock everything. You're the best that's ever been, and you put your guard down. And that's what's hard to guard. Handling adversity is easy. Everybody comes in and they're humbled, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm going to get annihilated today. But handling success, and then all of a sudden, oh man, you're a first-round draft pick projection, which just makes you want to puke, But so you're constantly fighting, the handling success. In my own son, we're going to kill these guys this week, man. They're terrible. So-and-so beat them by 20 points last night. And I just snap. I just hate that. So that comes from somewhere. Whether it's the kids in the locker room, I'm like, that is not any way to think. You guys are going to get blistered this week. If that's the way, you're a leader and that's the way you're thinking, you have no respect for this game and the people you're playing and the coaches that you're competing against. But that's, everybody wants to annoy everybody, or they're in the, again, I know, so it's on the ticker and it's 88% chance of winning. I've been there and then lose by 7 touchdowns. I've been there, and you fight that. And that again, same thing, you got your head in the sand. If you think that sometimes doesn't affect you, so you just got to be relentless. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they'll listen, sometimes they won't. And I really believe it's the people that matter, that you're dealing with. And hopefully you've recruited, and some guys have more maturity than others. And sometimes they need a dose of some humility. And I told her I didn't think we had the humility, that we need. I thought whether it's 3 or 4 days or it's a week or these last few weeks, we've lost a little bit of humility. That you got to have, and where again you're frantic, you're desperate, you're terrified that if I don't do it all right today, if I don't get my film in, if I'm not desperate at practice, if I'm not being coachable, that we're going to lose this game. And if everybody had that mindset, we'll be just fine. So I think the psyche is a huge part, whether you're in this position or you're not. If your program stinks and you don't know how to win, and that's hard. Teaching your guys learning how to win, that's really hard. And handling success is the other. That's also a problem. Oh, that'd be a great problem to have. It's hard. It's harder than you think. It's that's super hard. And then okay, so we've done whatever, it's 5 years of, is it 10 plus or 11 plus or whatever. So we'll just see if we can go for 10. That's really hard. Because a lot of times too, it's leadership. It's it's everybody. Very start not recruiting as hard, and starting to feel entitled. And then you recruit guys with promises, and Johnny 5-star. We don't have to recruit that 3-star guy because all these other 5-star guys want to come, and then you start losing sight of recruiting people instead of talent, and or again people with talent as opposed to just talent, and make concessions. So anyway, that's not really for me to talk about a whole bunch. Coach Sweeney probably talks about that a lot, but that's really hard. And same thing with our kids from week to week, and all of a sudden they feel like they've arrived. You're setting yourself up for some humble pie. So whether those few plays, because we had 40 some plays was really, really good, like outstanding clinic tape, and then there's others not so good, and sometimes it's just that freaking Will linebacker isn't the B gap, and 51 yards later, it ain't those other guys weren't humble or weren't focused. So got it somewhere in the middle is probably the truth. And but I looked before we went out in that field, I knew it, and I told the guys, it was too much, we didn't have the edge and the focus and the intensity. You can't cheat this game and go out there with the intensity. This is a very passionate, intense game. And when you don't have that, that's all the edge an opponent needs to have success against you. So I keep saying the same stuff.
Specifically, do you feel like you have players who the last couple of weeks have felt like they've arrived?
I think probably so. Or again, maybe let some distraction get in, or just put their guard down, or don't do quite as much work, or be quite as detailed. And it doesn't take very much. You do that walkthrough before practice, and all of a sudden they sleepwalk through a couple of those walkthroughs, and they're there and physically, but not mentally, and that's all it takes sometimes. So.